Welcome to the Blue Cell, everyone. This is Michael Brown, the former Undersecretary of Homeland Security and Director of FEMA under President George W. Bush. I'm a member partner and owner of the Blue Cell, along with Todd Manns, and we're really happy to come to you every week with kind of a weekly update of what we have going on in the week ahead. Before I do that, though, I want to mention that obviously Monday, the 20th of January, is when we celebrate Martin Luther King holiday. And I thought it might be an opportune time for you to hear from me kind of what I think about Dr. King and this holiday. Dr. King stood on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and gave his famous I Have a Dream speech, in which he talked about that he dreamed that someday we would come to a point in this nation where we judge people not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. And as we enter this presidential election season, it doesn't make any difference to me which side you're on. Of course, I've got my own preferences, but I really do think that Dr. King's message about judging people by the content of their character, not by the color of their skin, or not by any other sort of identity politics that people tend to play, I think is really important. So as emergency managers, people involved in crisis management, people involved in politics, whatever it might be, at whatever level of government, I think it's pertinent for us to kind of remember that message that we should judge people not by the color of their skin, not by their politics, but actually by the content of their character. We can certainly have policy debates and policy issues that we argue about and debate vociferously, and I want people to do that. But we do that by exercising our right of free speech and recognizing that everybody has some innate inherent qualities about them that's what we should focus on, not all of these external things that tend to divide us apart. But anyway, let me get on to what we're going to talk about on the Blue Cell this week. This week, we're focusing on mitigation. The Blue Cell is teaching the FEMA Mitigation Courses in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. On BravoCharlieReady.com, we'll have an article up about mitigation. And as long as we're talking about mitigation, I can't pass up the opportunity as the former FEMA director to give you a few thoughts on what I think about mitigation. When you think about the life cycle of crisis management or emergency management, we always focus on those things that are kind of sexy. You know, the response phase, and to some extent, I think even the recovery phase, we focus on because those are where all the toys come in. We get to save lives, we get to protect property, we get to do all of those things. But I'm afraid that too often, policymakers tend to ignore mitigation. And I think mitigation is probably one of the most important aspects of the crisis management cycle that we don't focus enough on. I think that if we could somehow convince policymakers that there is actually a good return on investment with mitigation dollars, mitigation practices, that we could actually lower the cost of response and recovery if we would just learn that that is an inherent and important part of the emergency management response and recovery cycle that we go through every time. So to the extent that you have the opportunity to work with your policymakers, or if you are a policymaker, I want you to stop and think about mitigation. So as the Blue Cell is teaching mitigation courses in South Dakota this week, if you think that you or your organization could use or benefit from us teaching you about mitigation, give us a call, drop us an email, because I'm an absolute believer that mitigation is just as important as response and recovery. I'd also call your attention to, if you go to BravoCharlieReady.com, that you'll see my personal podcast, The Situation with Michael Brown. We post that. I do a podcast, a short 15-minute or less podcast on certain situations that are maybe involve emergency management, crisis management, or something going on in the political world or just in day-to-day life. And I would encourage you to go listen to that. It's The Situation with Michael Brown, and you can find that also on BravoCharlieReady.com. If you're interested in what the Blue Cell does, our classes, if you'd like to have us come out and teach a class, if you'd like for me to come and speak to your organization, you can reach us through thebluecell.com, or BravoCharlieReady.com, or you can reach out to our sales and marketing director, Jessica LaBerge. Jessica's email is Jessica, Jessica, no period or anything else, LaBerge, Laberge, So it's Jessica LaBerge at thebluecell.com. Jessica LaBerge at thebluecell.com. We're always happy to come and teach a class. I'm always happy to come and talk to your organization, whether that be a private organization, a trade association, whatever it might be. Reach out to Jessica. We'd be happy to come and talk to you. So that's it for this week's update. Be sure and stay tuned. I'm going to start doing a lot of podcasts on crisis management, doing some interviews. We got some great things lined up. That will also reside on BravoCharlieReady.com. BravoCharlieReady.com. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you again next week.